Okay. Hope everyone's doing good. It's another day. I don't know how many people are gonna care to watch this one. I don't know. I'm just having fun. I really like planning, but I am very bad at actually keeping plans. But that has never stopped me before. I'm good at keeping like very generalized plans, but when plans get too specific, they scratch the part. I start running into the problem of it starts triggering demand avoidance, and I go, I don't actually want to do what previous me planned. That guy's an asshole. um but still, we're gonna talk about last year and this year. That's a great plan. You should do that. If you do accomplish that, let me know. um but anyway, so the first thing I want to talk about was a kind of where I'm at on a like an overall level. uh Content wise, content's been going pretty well the last month and a half for me, actually. I started uploading shorts, and those have been doing pretty well. Pretty much all of my channels are growing to some degree. I'm seeing the most growth on uh TikTok, I think, in terms of like people interacting with my content. And I'm seeing the most growth in terms of like actual like number of followers slash subscribers slash whatever on YouTube. But that was also my smallest following beforehand. um do I want to be a big Twitch streamer? So my plans for my like career are not panning out. So I would take being a big Twitch streamer. I'd take that for sure. um I work in computer science, and I have not liked anywhere that I've worked, and most of the jobs that I'm qualified for right now have to do with working with AI, and I really don't want to. That's what I've been doing this year. And this year is the year I've made the most money working, but like I hated my job the whole time I was doing it. Until I lost my job halfway through the year, and then I got another job doing pretty much the same thing but being paid less, and still don't like it. So I would take being a content creator. Like, I enjoy streaming a lot more than I enjoy my current work. Um, I don't know if that would change if I was doing it 8 hours a day. But I certainly am willing to try. You know what I mean? I'm willing to try that job to see if I would like doing it long term. But I'm aware that like I'm not relying on that becoming a job. Um, but because of my health issues, particularly my sleep patterns, it's really hard for me to do the other kind of job I would want to do, which is to be a teacher. They have to keep very regular hours. And my sleep issues make it very hard for me to keep regular hours of any kind. And since it's hard for me to keep regular hours of any kind, that means I'm just screwed when it comes to making it as like a teacher. Yeah. So what happens is like I can keep my sleep patterns consistent when I have to, but my will to live shrinks drastically. Because what happens is I can't force myself to keep a consistent sleep pattern. So when I have a job that requires I be up at consistent times, it's not that I manage to make my sleep schedule stay steady. I just am sleep deprived. You know? Like, because I can wake up whenever I need to, for the most part, but I can't control when I go to sleep. So I will just suffer through the part of of my rotating sleep pattern where I would not be able to sleep hardly at all. Because I would have to be working. It is unfortunate, but I just suffer through it. And it's like, there's nothing I can do about that, right? That's just life. But yeah, in 2025, this is probably the year I've made the most money. I had good health insurance, so I got a bunch of my health stuff sorted out, including getting a CPAP machine. That's helped a lot with me feeling better in general. It didn't actually fix the sleep pattern problem, but my quality of sleep has risen greatly. So there's that. I feel less tired overall, but I still have a weird rotating sleep pattern that I just can't fix. Like, my body is very convinced that I exist on 25-hour days, and nothing I do fixes that. Which is why what time I stream will never ever be consistent. And it's why the reason this is the year that I made the most money is because I was working as an independent contractor this year. Where I had jobs to do, but when I personally worked was not my employer's concern, which meant that I could work whenever I needed to. Which is why I actually made money this year and didn't hate life. But overall, this year went surprisingly well for me considering the overall state of the world. You know, state of the world been trending down, but my personal life was going up for most of the year, aside from the couple of months I was unemployed. But you know, okay, so I want to make a an actual plan of some kind for New Year's. Being a software developer, I of course default to a Trello board. I'm gonna call that content goals, but that's going over here because can I not move it to the side without? No, that's annoying. Overall goals, and these are gonna be ordered. Goal 1: survive. Have fun. I don't know. I'll add more to that as I think about it. I had more thoughts before stream started, but you know how it be. Now that I'm here, it's hard to think about what I had plans about before. Just gonna make general New Year's resolutions. That's a pretty good tradition. I actually like New Year's resolutions. Not everyone likes doing them, but I actually like making plans I know I won't keep. Something about it is satisfying to the brain, and it is good for reaffirming at least the general direction that you want to be going in. I'd make the world better to overall goals. This list isn't ordered yet, but it's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the content related ones first. These are more like overarching goals that I'm starting with. They're not really great resolutions, but we're gonna start with improve as a content creator. I want to get better at it. I have been getting better at it. You know, every couple of days I learn a new editing effect, and it makes me just a little more insufferable, and it's great. It's a great experience. You know, and I think everyone should plan for that. Just remember, if you're not getting more insufferable, are you really living? I might clip that one later. That's a really funny line, actually. Anyway. I want to improve as a content creator. That's in various ways. I want to make my streams better. But also it's being better at editing. I found that I actually kind of like editing. I didn't think I would. It's really growing on me as I do it more and learn how to do it better. But I am enjoying it more. So hopefully by this time in 2026, I can say that I did that. That I got better at content creation overall. Because this has become like my primary hobby, right? This and to a lesser extent gaming are my hobbies. It's this and reading. Which alas I've not figured out how to turn into content in a way that I think is fun. Because I do not just want to read out loud. But I want to improve as a content creator. I want to keep improving my health. Because there's lots of things I'd like to do that are just not feasible because of my health. Like, I'm not, like, about to keel over or anything. But my health has been slowly getting worse since I got out of college. Year by year, as it do. It's almost like I got locked inside by a global pandemic and then didn't actually start going back outside after everyone else did. And I've been doing better about that, about actually exercising, at least within my home. And what I'd really like to do is figure out some like stream games I can play that are exercising but are actually things I can play. Like there's games I would love to play for stream. Like Wii Fit Adventure. I think that's a fun game. I own that game. I've played like the first hour of it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm not currently fit enough to play that game, man. I would die. But I think that'd be a super fun stream game to do for exercise. You know, and there's lots of other games like that I think are super fun. I own a Xbox 360 and a Kinect. I could play a lot of Kinect games. And have fun with those, but like my health is not there. I'd really like to actually be more involved with things like going to protests and stuff like that. But man, I do not have it on me to be, I do not have it in me to be on my feet for an extended period of time. So, you know, there's lots of things that I would like to do that require that I exist in a healthy body, or at least a not unhealthy to the point of disability body. Like, and even outside of like current events and wanting to protest, there's other things that would satisfy my make the world better thing over here that require a healthier body. Like, I've always really wanted to volunteer with places like Habitat for Humanity and other things like that. But like most of the volunteer things that they need done require that you be able to do things as it that a healthy adult would be able to do, right? You have to be able to do physical labor. And right now, like especially this last year, my back has been hurting to the point that like I can barely contribute to keeping my space clean and things like that, you know, like and that's after improvements. But stove games. Okay, so I'm gonna start putting down some actual concrete goals. Stream 300 days. For the record, this is more than every Monday through Friday. There's something like what, 260 weekdays in a year? Yeah. Yeah, 52 times 5 is 260. So 260-ish, depending on when the year break is in the week. So this is more than every Monday through Friday. I'd really like to stream 300 days for content. Just because, okay, so this is something I realized this year, is that when it comes to like things that I would like to succeed, but don't really believe in, I have a tendency to kind of not try. Like, I would say I've never, like, the closest I've ever come to really trying to succeed as a content creator is what I've done in the last, like, month and a half. And even then, I did not actually, like, I only started posting a short every day on YouTube and, like, on, like, December, I think I just looked at this, like, December 9th or something. Like, even that, which is, like, I would say that in the last month and a half, I've put a lot more effort into content creation than I had in the previous, what, 5 years since I first started uploading to YouTube. And part of that's because I don't super care about success for content creation. That's true. Like, it'd be nice if it succeeded. I would probably, in my current situation, take it as a full-time job over what I'm currently doing without hesitation. But it's never been, like, a dream for me. It's just something I enjoy doing. Like, I enjoy streaming. I enjoy this kind of flow of consciousness of just talking. I'm a yapper at heart. I just am. It's fun for me. But, like, I think it's something that I realized about myself is that if I don't believe in something, I don't really try. Because there are things that I would consider dreams that I know I've never tried out. Like, I think it would be so awesome to actually write music. I have written music. I've never tried enough for it to be at the point of anyone else ever hearing it. Not really. Like, the closest I came was in high school. And that's as far as it went. And I'm good at music. I like music. It's like, I was in jazz band. I've won awards related to music before. Like, it's not like I'm bad at it. It's not like I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm good enough. It's that, like, I recognize that in order to succeed, it's not just about being good. You also have to be incredibly lucky, and so I don't try at all. Because that feels safer, right? And that's one of the major things. I'm going to put that as a New Year's resolution. Try things I think will fail. Because there's a lot of things I like doing and have done. Like, I've put a lot of effort into writing things. So, like, there are like, I have like 50,000 words of some books written that I just never finished, to the point never even put on, like, never even considered putting somewhere like Wattpad or AO3 or somewhere where other people could see them, right? Like, I have legitimately written a lot of things, but because I don't believe that I would find success, I've never even tried putting them out there. And I've decided I don't like that about myself, because that's how you get old and realize that you never did anything. Right? That you never did any of the things you wanted to do. So I'm gonna, that's one of the, like, in terms of personal growth, that's the main thing I want to personally grow in this year, is being more willing to try things I don't think will succeed and actually try. Like, give it my whole chest, not just a half-hearted try that I can do just to say I did it. To actually go for what I want all the way, to really try to succeed. Other than that, let's see, what are other content goals I want to do this year? This isn't necessarily a content goal. I'm going to put this under New Year's resolution. This is more a gaming goal. I want to beat 12 games. I realized like last year I beat I want to say like 50, I want to say like 5 games. And that's if I count Metaphor, which technically I'm not done with. Right? I haven't quite platinumed it yet, but the credits rolled, so I'll count it for last year. You know, credits rolled. I'm in New Game Plus. We'll count it. But it's like I beat Monster Hunter Wild. I beat. I'm gonna count Enshrouded because I beat it up to where to as far as it was at that time. I'm pretty sure that was 2025. And then Metaphor, and then I finally got around to beating Baba Is You. That one was off stream because I don't like playing puzzle games on stream. And I know there was a 5th one, but it's not coming to mind right now. And so I beat 5 games last year. I got more games than that in December. I got more games than that in November, right? I'm not saying that I necessarily want my backlog to be going downward, but I am realizing that like the only game that got Game Awards that I played last year, or the only game that was featured at the Game Awards at all that I played last year was Monster Hunter Wild. Like, Wilds was the only thing. I did not get around to playing or trying any of those other games. Just because I don't play enough games in a year, right? So I want to fix that. That's the goal. Obviously, I did play one other game this last year, and that's Blue Protocol. But you can't beat MMOs, so... and even if you could, I didn't beat it. Even if I could quantify what it means to beat an MMO, which you could say you cleared all the content, you beat it. I did not clear everything in Blue Protocol. I stopped playing before then. But yeah, I definitely want to beat 12 games, which means I'm looking for game suggestions to play and beat. I need some good suggestions. There's a couple of games that I definitely know I want to be on the list. And being on the list doesn't mean that I'm going to play it this year. What's the name of the new Donkey Kong game? Is it Donkey Kong Bonanza? It is, right? I think that's correct. Yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza. But I am definitely open to other suggestions. This is also, like, I think I'm gonna make a, also, if you don't know, I have a Discord server now for, content. It's really just a notification server for when I post stuff and where. But theoretically, I sometimes talk in general. Stuff happens sometimes there, but there's like less than 10 people in the server as of right now. But hey, that can change. And you can be a part of that change. But anyway, Expedition 33, Donkey Kong Bonanza. How do you spell Bonanza? Or is it... I see. It's with an A. Because it's like banana. Anyway. So those are the two. I'm starting the year by actually finishing Metaphor all the way. Getting the Platinum Trophy. At some point, I want to go back and play and finish Blue Dragon and its DLC, because I didn't know it ever came out with DLC. That's not exactly a new game. I have, in fact, beaten Blue Dragon's main storyline before, like, when it came out, but you're not going to stop me from playing it. No one is. I'm going to do it. I don't know when this year, but that's happening. I'd really like to get to the Dragon Quest 3 remake and the Dragon like Quest 1 remake and the Dragon Quest 2 remake. I own all of them because I really like the art style for the remakes and I want to encourage them to do more, especially when they're adding stuff to the games. Um I would love to have a version of 4, 5, and 6 that I didn't have to dig out a DS to play. Or use a DS emulator to play. But let's see, what are other games I want to play this next year? Oh, let's see. Oh, Rogue Galaxy has been something that people, whenever I play Dark Cloud 2, people recommend me Rogue Galaxy because it's the game that Level 5 made after Dark Cloud 2. And I have been meaning to play it since I first got that recommendation like 4 years ago. At least 4 years ago. Might be 5. No, it was when it was after I transitioned to Twitch, so it's 4 years ago. Also, whenever we actually get a release date for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, whatever they're gonna call it, that'll probably kick off me replaying like the OG Final Fantasy VII and Dirge of Cerberus, and then the 2 remake parts that have been released so far, in time to play the 3rd part. But most of that is replay. Like, outside of doing extra things I haven't done in those games before, I have played and beaten all of those games. It's not helping with my backlog. It is going to need at least 4 months of my time, though. At least. Oh, that's something that goes on this list because it comes out soon. Mega Man Star Force, Mega Man Star Force 2, Mega Man Star Force 3. I'm playing all 3 games as soon as that Legacy Collection comes out. That's, my March is booked. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing that. I've actually streamed Mega Man Star Force 1 before, but that's not going to stop me. It's just not. I'm playing all 3 games. I do not care. My schedule will be lucky if I only play one version of each game. I've been waiting for them to come out with the Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection since they dropped the Battle Network Legacy Collection. Because as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, they didn't put Star Force in it. They've got to be planning to drop it as its own collection, and I'm glad my faith was rewarded. Finally. I'm super excited to play that. Mega Man Star Force. Those are probably some of my favorite Mega Man games. The only games I like better than those 3 games for Mega Man is like Mega Man X and Mega Man X3, which are my favorite of the X series games. And then it's probably like Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, and then Mega Man 8, because that's the one I grew up playing. Like, Mega Man 8's the classic Mega Man game I played as a kid. And Mega Man X and X3 are the classic, not classic, are the X games I grew up playing as a kid. Oh, and I forgot about Mega Man 0. That's up there too. Probably above Mega Man Legends, but around the same level. Point is, I've been waiting for this particular Legacy Collection for a while. How many do I even have 12 games on this list yet? I don't think I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh wait, I should do the do that. There. Now it tells me how many cards are in each list. I hate that there's not like a convenient way to just tell it to put that information on there, at least not that I'm aware of. When I googled it, this was the solution I was presented, was use a filter and it'll tell you how many things are at the top, which is such a silly way. Like, I feel like wanting to know how many things are in a list is such an obvious thing that people would want. It's so weird to me that that's not a thing that it can just natively do. Like, that should just be a button. Anyway, what other games do I want to play in the next year? Oh, right, the thing that just came out. Metroid Prime 4. Which secretly implies Metroid Prime 3, because I had never beat that one. I did beat 1 and 2, but I never finished 3. So that's 12 games. That's the minimum size of the pool. But the pool actually needs to be bigger. Because I need more choices, right? More choice is better. We want enough choices that I don't feel forced into playing games. Because when I feel forced into playing games, that triggers demand avoidance, and I go, ew, I don't want to do anything, actually. So we want a nice big pool to draw from. What were the other Game of the Year nominees at the Game Awards? Game Awards, Game of the Year nominee. Because those are good games to... If you got nominated for Game Awards, I feel like I should probably play... Oh, right! That series, the two series that I've been meaning to get around to, but just haven't yet. And yes, both of those need to be on there. As do both of these. Whoops. Yeah, I have not played Hollow Knight or Hades. They've been on my to-playlist since they came out. And I just haven't gotten around to it. But now that they've both gotten sequels that are also really good, I should really get around to playing the first ones. Oh, there's so many games, man. Too many games come out each year that are absolutely fire and that I really want to get around to playing. Okay, I'd still like more games to draw from. What else? Oh, for content goals, my other content goal is post a short every day. So post something to TikTok and YouTube Shorts every single day for the year. I've been doing that for almost a month now, like more than 20 days. And it's not at that hard. I actually have I actually have 21 shorts ready to go. So I've almost got January cleared, is what I'm saying. By the time I finish doing the rest and like editing the rest of the streams, I will have January finished for sure. It's just a matter of like continuing to keep that up for the next year. And specifically, I'm saying here, post a short every day, not a full video every day. I've been doing that too. That's not sustainable while also working. I know that. I can feel that. That unless this is my full-time job, y'all aren't getting that. If this becomes my full-time job, or at least becomes more of my job that I can stop working as much at other things, then I could consider uh posting like a longer video more often. But like realistically, I think I'm gonna probably settle on posting like an actual video every couple of days at most. And that's fine. That's actually what most content creators do. I actually think posting a video every day is a little oversaturating and probably a sign that I'm keeping too much in each video, right? When I'm editing. It's probably a sign that I could cut more when I'm editing my videos. Although I don't know how people actually feel about the videos yet. My longer videos, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. You can see my my dashboard on YouTube. So why is that still? I guess that was only within 48 hours. I thought that was further back for some reason. Let me refresh the page. How's that? How's the short I posted like an hour and a half ago doing? Lots of views, no likes, which is probably not great for its future performance. That's fine. I didn't think today's was that great. I just liked it enough to post it. But like as you can tell on my longer form videos, they're like not getting a lot of traction, which is fine. I barely know how to edit, so that doesn't surprise me. It's a lot easier to edit a short funny moment than it is to make something that's upwards of 10 minutes be entertaining. I fully expect that until I actually get better at editing, that's not going to change. And that's fine. I kind of expect that. That is why improve as a content creator is on the New Year's resolutions, right? To actually get better at making content. Let's see. I still need more games to play and finish. Going back to, I have a bunch of level 5 games that I have never got around to beating. Ni no Kuni 1 and 2. I need some short games, man. Actually, I just looked at this list. I need some shorter games. I'm gonna die if I try and complete 12 games off this list, actually. Like, why does it look like the shortest game on this list is Donkey Kong Bonanza? I'm gonna perish. Like, Donkey Kong Bonanza and Metroid Prime are the short games on the list? I need me some shorter content, man. I need some game suggestions for games that aren't upwards of 40 hours. Because for instance, I've streamed what feels like a lot to me for Metaphor. And there's at least three or four games on this list that are going to take me as long as Metaphor did. And I'm not done with Metaphor yet. If I try and do that 12 times in a year, I will perish. I'm not going to be streaming that much unless it becomes my full-time job. If it's just for fun, I can't do it that much. There are, in fact, limitations on my free time called I need to pay bills. I don't know how long Rogue Galaxy is. How long is Rogue Galaxy? Long to beat Rogue Galaxy. Okay, so completionist is still 108 hours for that one. Even just the main game is 40 hours. Okay. So that one's not gonna be that short either. I used to keep a list of how of all the games I owned. And I would, back when I maintained this list like religiously, like every time I got a new game it went on the list, I would also enter in how long to beat timer for every game. And then I would when I wanted to feel like I was making progress on my backlog, I would sort it by how long it took to beat the game and just spend a couple of weeks getting like 15 games done because they were each like 4-hour experiences. Which was a lot easier to do. I don't really have very many 4 to 10 hour games on deck at the moment, so I guess I will simply perish this year. But I will beat 12 games. If it kills me, I will beat 12 games. And by if it kills me, I mean catch me in December beating 11 games that are 4 hours each. But yeah, I have a lot of games that I really want to get around to playing that I just haven't. I talked about this a bit before I started playing Metaphor, right? Where I was just like looking through just my backlog on PlayStation 5. Which is admittedly what I get most of my what I've been getting most of my games for since I got one. But even just my backlog for PlayStation 5 is like hundreds of games long. Just hundreds of games that I have not beaten and that I'd really like to beat that I just haven't gotten to. There's nothing like inherently wrong with that. But it'd be nice for that to be less than that. So I think my big goal this year is to actually play more games, so that way my backlog doesn't feel as intense. It is kind of unfortunate that I look at all the games I would want to play and I'm like, man, I could be my job could be full-time content creation, like a big streamer, to the point that like I pay other people to do all of the other things related to content creation. The only thing I have to do is sit in this chair and play games and be entertaining while doing so. I think I could be doing that and I still wouldn't have enough time to be playing every game that comes out in a year that I want to play, right? Like, the games market is unfortunately oversaturated with really fun games if you're the kind of gamer who enjoys a wide variety of genres. I've talked about that on a couple of different streams so far, but that is just the way things are right now. I never have enough time to play all the games I want to play. And this is because some genres are causing more of this than others. Because I did lose like weeks to Blue Protocol. And that's not even that good of an MMO. It's a decent one. If the player base had stayed more active, I probably would have kept playing it for a lot longer. But like fundamentally, I don't think it's like an outstanding one. And I lost weeks to that. Like me playing MMOs is definitely the biggest culprit in like why I will never have enough free time to play all the games I want to play. I don't even want to think about how many hours I have between World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV. God forbid someone looks at how many hours I have in League of Legends. I think I did look one time. It was an absurd number and I don't remember it anymore. I played League a lot in high school. Like a lot. But yeah, I'd like to get through at least 12 games. I know there's more games I wanted to play. And I'm trying to avoid listing too many games from the same series here. Because, like, I could just list every Dragon Quest game I haven't played. Oh, that's one. Thinking of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 16, I'd really like to finish, and Final Fantasy 15. and Final Fantasy 12. Those are the only ones I'm going to list from Final Fantasy. I could also just, again, continue listing every Final Fantasy game I have not finished. Which is 5, 5, 6, 8. I never finished 9, but I got most of the way through. 12, 15, and 16. 6 and 9, I got most of the way through each of them. I just got hit by my chronic inability to finish games before I actually finish them. Yeah, I'm trying to list no more than like 3 games from the same series, because like I could just keep listing more games from those series, but like realistically I'm not going to play more than 2 or 3 games from the same series in a year. I'm just not. I like playing varied games too much, right? I like varying what games I'm playing way too much to just dig in on one series like that. I actually tried doing that with Dragon Quest, which is probably Dragon Quest is probably like one of my favorite game series of all time. Particularly when it comes to like playing through like the Dragon Quest Monsters games. I adore them. And I made it like 3 games in before I had to take a break and do something else. And I've tried to do the same thing with Final Fantasy with the same results, which is why I've not actually beaten 6. This is a list of 21 games, which is certainly a list, but it's not a long enough list yet. It's not. In particular, there's not enough variety in the type of game available here. I say that, but I do have, like, what, Metroidvania, whatever kind of combat we're calling Mega Man Star Force. I don't even know what to call that one. I have no clue what to classify that as. Bunch of turn-based games, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and then, some other live-action games with Final Fantasy 16 and 15. Like, this is actually a pretty, wide variety of types of game from that sense, but I think I can still do better. I can think of more varied games. One thing I really want to do is I want to figure out if there's a way on Discord to have like a suggestion in my Discord server where people can type into it, but I'm the only one who can see it. I don't know if that's a thing that exists on Discord. If it's not, I'll just make a Google form for suggestions, but it's just a way for people to, for my adoring viewers, to, make suggestions. Hi, Gee, how's it going? But yeah, you know what? Gee, in your honor, I will include Stardew Valley on the potential list of games to play in the next year. Oh wait, actually, also in your honor, I'll include something that should absolutely be on the list. I don't know how it's not yet. Fantasy Life. Don't know how I forgot that one, actually. I'm halfway through that game. I should finish it. Actually, not halfway through. I'm more like a quarter of the way through, but details. But yeah, I'm contemplating what other games I want to play this year. And also just other things I want to do this year. There are in fact lots of things I would like to do. I'm really open to suggestion on like what kind of games, and also if there's other kinds of content people would like to see. I like doing challenge run content so long as it's a game I've already played. And even if it's not, I still do challenge run content sometimes. But like I would love more ideas for like challenge runs people would want to see. Um, I still really want to do a Kingdom Hearts 1 without magic, especially since someone figured out how to get that door open without magic. I'm so jealous. I'm so upset that I didn't figure that out when I was trying to figure out if that challenge was possible. I'm so upset. I spent so long in front of that door and could not figure out any way to get through it without magic, and someone else figured it out. I'm I'm happy for them because they did a good job there, but I am upset that it wasn't me. um but because like I've still got that. I could go back and actually finish that no projectiles run of Dark Souls, or not no projectiles, only projectiles run of Dark Souls. A no projectiles run of Dark Souls is really easy because you can just sword and board the whole game. You'll be fine. But an only projectiles run, I feel like I've done like what are gonna be the hardest parts. The rest is just gonna be a lot of me shooting things. And so I'm not like super inclined to actually finish it, but if people really wanted to see that, I'd be down. Let's see. I'd also be down to do an only projectiles run in the other Soulsborne games. Oh, that's something that should be in this list over here. I've never beaten Sekiro. There we go. Sekiro? Yeah, it's Sekiro. Yeah, I've never beaten Sekiro, so there it is. It's in the list. I own it. I just have never gotten around to actually playing and beating it. Also, I'm gonna try, and this isn't for over here. Oh, I know what goes in this list. It'll happen automatically. This one's a freebie. I'm beating that game with my friends. Like, we'll beat that game eventually. It will probably be this year that we finish it. I'd be surprised if it took us longer than that. Because we're done with Act 1 now. We've started Act 2 and we're making pretty quick progress through it. I'd be surprised if we're not finished with it by like the end of yeah, Baldur's Gate 3. Oh yeah, that's right, you're on your phone. Gonna have to zoom in, I guess. Here, I'll zoom in just for you. Make the words bigger. At least until I decide I need a fifth list, and then you're gonna have to suffer. But anyway, I would so Baldur's Gate 3 is a freebie. I mean, it sucks to be unable to read, but at least signs can't stop you, so there's that. But anyway, so it's Baldur's Gate 3. I'm actually playing on my own too. It's one of the mostly because I don't like. Okay, so I don't play CRPGs in a way that's very fun to watch when I play them on my own, because I am an obsessive loot goblin. That's the main reason I don't play it on stream. Because I don't really care for the adult scenes or having that on all that much. It's whatever. The big one is just that, like, I kid you not, I'm grabbing everything. I will spend hours clearing a town of all the loot. When I got to the end that was burning down, I was in there for more than an hour looting the place before it burned down, just making sure that I got every single item. CRPG stands for character RPG. Haven't you seen me play Pokemon? I've streamed that before. You're gonna have to be more specific. Like, I don't mind playing Pokemon. There's lots of Pokemon games I'd like to play. Let's see. What's the Pokemon game I want to play the most, though? No, it means character in this case. Games like Baldur's Gate 3. Games that are like in that style of gameplay that are RPGs. It's definitely one of those genres that I don't think is super greatly defined. It's more a vibe. It's a vibe genre. But so are JRPGs a lot of the time outside of the ones that actually come from Japan. Because like Expedition 33 is definitely a JRPG, but it didn't come from Japan. but like the vibes are there. Vibe wise, JRPG. Oh, actually, there are some other games that I can add to this. I should just be thinking about what I've gotten recently. I got Tales of Xillia, and specifically, this is their remaster because I want to get the trophies for it. And even if the boys and I do eventually stream Tales of Xillia, it won't be this version of it. Because the remaster. Okay, so Tales of Xillia isn't actually 4-player. That's the actual problem. Tales of Xillia Masquerades is a 4-player game, but it's not one, and that is the core of the problem, right? So if we ever did play Tales of Xillia, which is far in the future, really, we'd play almost every Tales game before it, not because Tales of Xillia is bad or anything, but because Matt, Robert, and I have already played it. So we're gonna play the Tales games that less of us have played before we play one that three out of 4 of us have played. And I think Jesse's actually also played most of it or beaten it. I'm not entirely sure. So I might stream alone or like bug Jesse to come play the Tales of Xillia remaster with me. Just to get all the trophies in it. Just to play through the game, get all the trophies, platinum the game, and put it back on the shelf, and be able to say I did the I did that with the remaster and move on with my life again. But I also have the Tales of Graces remaster that I might do that with, but I've played Tales of Graces a lot more recently with the guys, so that one's a lot less likely. I do still want to platinum it eventually, though, and I do have it now. So, there's that. What else do I have that I'd like to play? Okay, so this is a little more niche, but Dragon Quest Builders 2. That just popped into my head because I know exactly where the case for it is because I saw it recently. Like my brain went, didn't we see this game recently? That's one of my, I have it on disc somewhere, backlog items. There's a lot of other Dragon Quest games on here. The remakes for 1, 2, and 3 are also on the list. Let's see, if I were to play a Pokemon game, which Pokemon game would I want to play first? If I were to play a Pokemon game on stream. It'd be nice to actually finish Pokemon Red Blue achievement hunting. So I'll put that on here, because I'm almost done with it. And if you don't know what I mean by achievement hunting, retro achievements. It's a lot of fun. Although I haven't done any achievement hunting for retro achievements in like several months at this point, but that's because I've been playing more recent games this year. But then I guess I could just go down the generations and start with Pokemon. Go with Pokemon Gen 2 and just go down the generation list. And just get all their achievements and move on to the next one. That'd be especially nice to do the gens that I didn't play. Like, I never played Gen 2. That's just not a Pokemon generation that I played. I've Living Dexed Gen 1. And I have at least played Gen 3, 4, and 5. Maybe not 5. 3 and 4 for sure. Yeah, Gen 2 is Gen 2 is gold, silver, and crystal. Along with a bunch of other random things. Uh-huh. Let me see. Let me make sure which ones I've played. So I have played... okay, so I haven't played Ruby or Sapphire, but I did play a little bit of Emerald. And I played Fire Red and Leaf Green. For Gen 4, yeah, Gen 4 I played, because that's Diamond and Pearl. I played Pearl, I think? I'm not certain about that. But then, that's right, I skipped Gen 5. I played Gen 6, which is unfortunate, because I hear Gen 5 is really good. That was an unfortunate one to skip. Choke emote when? The same time all the other emotes happen, Gi, when you decide to make one. But then, I did not play Sun and Moon. I own Sword and Shield, but didn't play beyond, like, the first half an hour. And that's like when I really dropped off Pokemon. Like, I've not played anything past this. I think, Gen 6 was the last time I really played a Pokemon game to the point where I would consider myself as having really played it. You know, like I've tried out the beginning of some games past that to see if they captured me. And they just didn't quite. I do, however, really like all the Pokemon side games. Catch me playing Mystery Dungeon. I mean, I think the big reason why people feel that Pokemon is so easy now isn't actually because Pokemon got all that much easier. It's because they give you some version of shared EXP, like EXP all or whatever, pretty much for free now. Like you just get that. And a lot of what made older Pokemon games harder is not actually that they're that much harder. Some are. Like some specific fights are actually hard. But the vast majority of Pokemon, the difficulty actually comes from you being too impatient to level up. It comes from you being caught off guard by how high level the enemy is and going, oh crap, only the Pokemon I've been using to take out all the wild Pokemon in this area is actually high enough level for this. Having EXP all just be a constant thing that you have removes that entirely. And they didn't change the other parts of the game enough to prevent that. That's my take on why Pokemon games got easier over time, at least up until the generations I stopped playing, and from what I've seen of people playing the generations after that. They gave us EXP all, which inherently raises the average level of your party without changing the way the rest of the game works. But anyway, what else have I gone recently that I'd like to play? I think this is a pretty solid. That's 30 games. You having fun over there, Key? You look like you're having fun. Brain no worky. uh, there's other games I'd like to play, but I don't actually own them, so I'm not gonna put them on the list yet. If I don't actually already have access to the game, it doesn't need to be on the list. That is so relatable, Guy. That's gonna be me when I start my actual work days for the year on Monday, because I'm not starting on a Friday. No, I'm finishing the week off. I can't do it, man. I might start Friday. We'll see. But that's gonna be me every morning, getting up and going to work. Huh, I didn't know I could do that. Just double click to start a new list. Anyway, so you know, here's my stretch goal for here's my like big stretch goal. Do a charity stream. Which means being a big enough streamer that I can actually do a charity stream to make money for someone else. That's the big stretch goal. That is a resolution I don't think I can actually do. But you know, I do have try things I think will fail as a resolution this year. So I would not actually do a charity stream unless I thought it would succeed. But if I could be big enough by the end of the year to do a charity stream to actually raise some money for a good cause, I would be so happy. Like, I would love to do a charity stream. There's so many like causes that need money out there to continue making the world a better place. That's actually like that's always been like the thing that like if I make that like okay, so if I ever make it as a content creator, I am going to be doing like charity stuff much more regularly. Like if I'm at the point where I'm making more than enough money for myself, I'd be making a charity thing like every couple of months. Like, yeah, I would not that would be more than once a year for me. Because I'm the kind of person who like if I have extra money, it's already not staying with me anyway. It's going to charity or something like that. Like I'd have a 401k that I'm putting a moderate amount into each year, and then I'd just be doing charity stuff with the extra money anyway. But anyway, what are other games that I want to play? I can play more games. This is not all the games I can play in a year. I believe 30 games. I'm sure that's one every like 10 days, but it's fine. Okay, bye, Guy. Have fun at work. I think like something I really want to do in the next year is make the stream more interactive. And I don't really know how I'm gonna do that yet, but I do want to make better power-ups and things like that. Not better powers, but better rewards and power-ups, I suppose. Just things that people can do to make the stream better, because right now all I really have is like the take care of your streamer thing, get an emote for a little bit, or like the only like silly thing I have in here right now are the daily wisdom and the word ban, and I'd like to do more. So I'm gonna have make stream more interactive as a list. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but that is a goal for the year. That is something I want to do. Like, it is something that I think makes me enjoy streaming more, because it makes it more than just me playing games while chatting. And there's a couple of ones that I've been considering. Like I think I used to have a really expensive one that was get a motivational speech. But that was hard to do. I was surprisingly bad at that one, and so I removed it. But what I have been thinking is a couple of years ago, I did a gimmick where every stream I would tell a story. Um, and I'm thinking maybe I'll make like a 10,000 point one that's just tell a story about this thing. And I think that'd be interesting. Or like maybe one where you give me a topic to rant about. That'd be fun too. Where it's just like rant about this topic. Um, things like that where stream is helping me make better content. Because I think that is where streaming thrives the most, right? Streaming thrives the most when you're using it as an interactive content. Where not necessarily that everyone who's in the stream has to be interacting. I treasure my lurkers, don't worry. I am you, so I treasure you. Because that is who I am when I'm in other people's streams, for sure. Like, I'm a lurker at heart. As one of my clips that I posted this year says, I am a grade A lurker. Legitimately, there are streamers who I've watched since before I became a streamer. And if I typed in their chat right now, I would be a first-time chatter. And I've watched, like, had their streams on in the background for hundreds of hours, minimum. Probably more. Just while I've been doing other stuff at my computer. Like, there are streamers who, like, I've watched do active streaming for like a large part of my college courses while I was doing like schoolwork and stuff. Then I'd be a first-time chatter if I typed in their chat today. Like, I am the lurker. I am the king of lurkers. Maybe not king, because I do still post in some people's chat. Might not be quite that high. But anyway, I do still think that streams are at their best when there's some level of interaction between chat and streamer. I think that is what makes streaming inherently the most interesting. So I want there to be more of that. More fun ways for chat to interact with stream. And also, that gives me more targets for, like, if I start really making money from streaming, that's more things I can spend money on graphics for. Which he's not here anymore, but they'll appreciate that because they're the first person I would go to commission art. Um, you know, but like in general, like I would absolutely, like now that I have Twitch alerts set up, I would love to have more. Now that I have Twitch alerts set up, I'd love to have more interaction where like the alerts for different rewards are actually pieces of art or animations or things instead of just the generic one that Twitch assigns. I would love to actually put things there. I also like, even just for being a tier 1 subscriber, I have how many emote slots do I have left? I have a bunch. I have 3 standard emotes, all 5 animated emotes, the 2 bonus animated emote slots. Like, I have so much just sitting around. Not to mention that you can have different bits to your emotes. Like, I have so many emote slots unused. that I could just have more things for. Um and I would love to actually do that, right? Like that'd be a lot of fun. Um I would be so down to actually have more of those done. Uh but okay. Back to more games. Uh what other games do I have sitting around that I'd like to add to this list? I'd be down to stream some of the less objectionable Atelier games. Which really just means like nothing from the Arland games. Because those, like, I replayed those as an adult and they actually made me uncomfortable. I initially played those when I was like pretty close in age with all of the main characters of them, and so it didn't bother me as much. But man, replaying it as an adult, some of the ending options made me feel icky, man. Um the fact that there are romance themed endings between like Rorona and Geo, and Rorona's like 17 at the end of the first game, and Geo's like in his 50s. Like, why? They're not super clear on how old Geo's supposed to be, but he's definitely supposed to be older. Like he's at minimum middle-aged, even in Rorona, which is the earliest game. Like it's uncomfortable. I was not okay with it. When I was 14, it didn't bother me, but now it does. Um, but I don't think I've never heard about anything bad in like the Atelier Sophie games. Atelier Sophie looks cute. Uh, in Ryza, I think you're always playing an adult, so I can at least not be too bothered by it. Atelier Yumiya, outside of the weird Gil obsession, is fine. Like Atelier Yumiya didn't bother me at all in the like 3/4 of it that I played. Outside of their weird obsession with showing off the character's heals at every opportunity. They do not ever let you forget that Yumiya is wearing ridiculous heals. Not for a second. Um, but overall, there's Atelier games I'd be willing to play on stream. At least. I don't think I'll add them to the list though. They don't deserve a spot on the list. I'd just be willing to play them, and honestly, I have so many other games to play on this list. I'm not getting to them, right? Like look at how wide this list is. I'm just not getting to that. Um I have a lot of better options before I play any of those. Oh, I'm dumb. I'm just gonna put the series names here. Persona and Shin Megami Tensei. Play a game from one of those two series. Uh, I don't know if I would start with Persona 5 or if I would jump back to one of the older games. Probably not Persona 1 or 2, because I've heard that those haven't aged as well. Uh, but I might play 3 instead of 5. Um, but yeah, I'd be down to play the Persona games. Uh, then oh, what else? I'm trying to think of like what other stream related, like what other content related things do I want to be doing this year? That's the important thing. Having a list of games I want to play is nice and all, but the especially now that it's 32 items long and some of those items are entire game series I could choose several from. I think we're good. I think we're okay. We've got a nice long list. The only thing this list is missing is games that will take me less than 40 hours. I'm gonna die trying to beat 12 games this year. Gonna have to count Metaphor for 2026 just that way I'd perish a little bit less. But other streaming things. I'll actually put it on here. Learn how edit better. Yeah, learn how edit better. That goes on the list. I do in fact want to do that. I want to learn how to do editing better. The details of that I don't know yet. I just know that I want to be better at editing. And I have been getting better at editing. I've been learning how to do freeze frames and how to do fade ins, fade outs, how to actually put text on the screen, and have it look not shit. You know, I've been learning how to edit better bit by bit. And a lot of that's just going to be practice. It's going to be doing those things enough that that I don't have to like really think about how to do them again in order to do them, because that's where speed comes from, right? Like the speed of putting like text on the screen when editing, it comes from the muscle memory of knowing exactly where that setting is and not having to think about how to set it up anymore, just doing it. And that's generally true of a lot of things. And you know what? I will put one other content goal on here, which is write/post a song of some variety. I don't know what that'll look like, because that's definitely a stretch goal. I'm gonna put make music over here. Okay, I want to talk about this because I notice I do it when I'm typing. I am very inconsistent about what I capitalize when I'm thinking in terms of titles for things. And I think you can tell that a lot in this list. Because, like, why is the word short over here capitalized? Make stream more interactive? Why is that capitalized? Why is this whole thing capitalized? I don't know, man. I do weird things. But I am hopeful that I can make streaming more fun to watch. That's the real goal. I'm gonna put that over here actually. Make a stream more fun to watch. Actually I'm gonna put that under content goals. Make stream more fun to watch. And I'm gonna move that to the top. That's the most important thing I think for content creation for me this year. Is streaming is the core of what I actually enjoy making here. And so I think that's the most important thing. On a fundamental way, streaming 300 days in the year and posting a short every day, these are goals that are about making content, about their, how do I put this? They are end goals where the content is already better, right? Whereas the first thing is to make the content itself better, right? Because 365 shorts is only going to do well if the shorts are fun to watch, right? Which fun shorts, like fun short form content like that, comes from having fun streams. That's where it comes from. that is the source. It comes from having fun streams that are fun to watch and have fun moments, because that's what those are, right? And sometimes that's an outgrowth of hanging out with my friends. Like the clip that has the most views of anything I've ever posted. Which if you haven't seen it, I greatly recommend it. It's the spectator clip. I call it Blaze of Glory on YouTube. It did not do super well on YouTube, which I think is interesting. Because it's at almost 8,000 views on TikTok, which is like the next highest viewed thing I have doesn't break 3K. So it's more than double the next most viewed thing I have on either platform. But on YouTube it's only at like 300 views. I don't know what happened. On TikTok it's like it's more than half my likes on TikTok. It's got 8,000 views. And then on YouTube it's like 8 likes and 300 views. I don't know, man. That's one of those things where I'm like, that is the exact same piece of content, and it just did wildly better in one place than the other. And I don't know if that's because the platforms are different, or if that's a function of like, I don't know if that's a function of the platforms being different, or if that's a function of a difference in how a difference in luck. Like, is it just that it didn't get showed to the right 300 people on YouTube, so they thought it wouldn't do well? You know, like, and that's more of a function for smaller creators than bigger ones, right? Because, you know, at the point where you've got 1 million subscribers and your things regularly get 1 million views, it doesn't matter, right? As much. Like, luck is not as huge of a factor in how well your videos do, because you're being shown to such a large audience baseline, and your audience is pretty likely to like your content. Like YouTube and TikTok at that point, they kind of know who to show your stuff to, so luck plays less of a factor. Whereas for a smaller creator, luck plays a lot more of a factor, because you have to be put in front of someone who actually gives a shit. And if you're not, then you're screwed. You know, because you've only got a couple hundred chances at most, and the algorithm doesn't really know who it should be putting you in front of yet. And that's on, you know, luck. One thing I did do, I've been making my best of 2025 thing today, and I actually put the foreshadowing clip and the spectator clip next to each other. I think that's really funny. Putting them right next to each other. The foreshadowing clip is me and Robert talking about how he's carrying a smoke powder barrel, and he says that'll be useful later. And then the spectator clip is when it came in handy. I say it came in handy like that's the only time that he's used an explosive, and that is not true. I think he's using at least one explosive each stream at this point. We've blown up a lot of things. We use explosives a lot, and almost all of the explosives are provided purely by Robert. Like, pretty much exclusively. Oh, a stretch. Not because anyone told me to, but just because I really needed to. Oh, you ever have one of those moments where you're like, I really need to like stretch out? That's what I just experienced. I've been trying to, because I've noticed on Improve My Health, I've been getting less flexible, so I've been trying to like do more stretches and things like that. I'd really like to get my Kinect set up again, because I actually really liked doing yoga with it, because I'm not very good with like being aware of where my body is, like, at all. I'm just very bad at that. Whatever the word is for that, I'm not good at it. And I'm very bad at that kind of spatial awareness, I guess is the term. Maybe, I don't know. But whatever the term, I'm bad at it, like really bad. But so doing yoga with like a Kinect helped a lot because I could see where I was versus what the pose should be. And that helped a lot with me actually doing the right pose, which helps a lot with like not hurting yourself and also moving your body in a way that's going to actually stretch you out. Having proper form is hard, and especially if you have really bad awareness of where your body is in a space, uh, it gets only harder. It certainly does not get easier. But that's why I really liked doing things with the Kinect. Do I think if I have any other New Year's resolutions? I have other goals this year, but they're not like the things I want to talk about publicly. They're things like what's the actual amount of money I need to make this year to survive, things like that. It's not good content. It's boring, and it's not something I don't really want to have my budget be public information. Yeah, no, that's not. It's not something I'm super interested in having be public. So I'm trying to think of what else, because I want to stay live until 9, so that way I can say Happy New Year to the East Coast, and then dip to go do my actual New Year stuff that I do with my mom every year. I'm trying to think of like if there's anything else that I would want to talk about for like New Year's resolution stuff or content goals. I'm gonna be trying to, especially since I'm trying to stream 300 days this next year, I'm gonna try and do a better job making sure I'm streaming for like around 4 hours every time I stream. I'm gonna try to not go over that too often, because that means I have more editing to do it when I do. But also I'm gonna try and not go under that either. Because it's kind of hard to and this will probably be alleviated as I focus more on actually being a better streamer. But it's kind of hard to pick out a good moment to clip if a stream is less than 4 hours. Like, it's kind of hard to make a short out of something in it, unless something like, the longer a stream is, the more likely I do something funny. You know what I mean? The shorter a stream is, the less likely. And ideally, I'd like to have more content than less. The more funnies, the better. Like, the more funnies or interesting things that happen, the better. It's always better to have more than less on that. And so I think streaming around 4 hours in a day is that sweet spot of like, that's sustainable for me to stream for 4 hours and keep up with editing while still working. And I say sustainable. I don't know if that's actually sustainable. We'll see. That is still a lot of time to be spending almost every day. Because if you do the math there, the fastest I've gotten at editing so far is editing a 4-hour stream in 3 hours. And that's from start to finish. That's going through it, cutting everything I don't think is worth keeping, making at least one short out of it, and then uploading it to YouTube. 3 hours. That's that's max speed that I've gotten for a 4-hour stream. And I feel like that's a pretty good speed. I don't feel like I'm getting faster anymore. I think the only way I could get considerably faster at this point is if I got better at listening at higher speeds. And I don't think that's really likely to happen. I'm already listening at 3 times speed when I go through streams. I don't think I'm gonna make it to any considerably higher amount than that. But so getting through at that speed, that's 7 hours of doing that every day that I stream, right? That's a lot for something that's not my job, right? uh Even if I'm so we're hoping that's sustainable. It may turn out not to be, in which case I will lower my amount of streams, my amount of expected streams down to like 250 or 200 or something, which is still a lot for the record. 200 streams still means I'm streaming more than every other day, right? That's still more than I have streamed the vast majority of the time that I've been streaming, outside of when I hyperfixate on a game like I did with Metaphor, or like I did with Dragon Quest 11 in 2023, whatever year I beat Dragon Quest 11 in less than a month, in like a month, because I was streaming for like 12 hours a day for significant portions of that, and it's just because I was hyperfixated on the game. But yeah, like realistically, 4 hours of stream a day, for the majority of days means that I'm spending 7 hours on content creation, which is like that's the most I could do if this isn't paying. That is already a lot for a hobby, right? So 300 times 7 is 2,100 hours, right? Yeah, 2,100 hours across the year. That's a lot. That's the most I can afford to do, and keep my sanity, while also working a job, right? If you want more out of me than that, you have to pay me. Because I just can't do more. That's just like, that's a hard limit. That's not even like, maybe if I liked doing this more I could do more. No, even if I hyperfixate on things, that's still, I still can't do more than that, right? Something has to give. That is the limit of like how much I can afford to do this hobby, afford to do any hobby, really. 2,100 hours in a year is an insane amount to do any one thing. That's not your like main method of making money. So that is at most, that is the top of it. I simply cannot do more. But you know, that's life. And just remember, the more this pays me, the less I have to work, and so the more flexible that becomes. You know, the more this becomes a second job, the less I have to treat it as a hobby. I've talked about it before, but give me money and I will employ people, because I don't actually like doing everything I do for streaming, right? If I was making enough money to hire an editor for the YouTube stuff, oh, I would, in a heartbeat. I like editing. I'm actually coming to enjoy it a lot more than I thought I would. I would still hire an editor in a heartbeat because I enjoy streaming more. I find this more fun than I find editing. Editing is just less of a chore than I thought it would be. And part of that's because I'm enjoying learning something new. Once I'm no longer in the learning new things stage of it, I may no longer feel that way. It will probably become more of a chore as time goes on. But give me money and I will hire people. I promise. In other words, watch my videos. So that way the algorithm likes them more and they spread out, and then I can acquire the cash monies. But yeah, if I made money from content creation, like the first thing I'm doing as soon as I make enough per YouTube video is hiring someone else to make them. I do not like editing enough to be doing it. And just think of how much time that gives me back, right? Right now, for every 4 hours that I stream, I have to spend 3 hours a day. That's just non-negotiable if I'm going to keep editing. Either the YouTube videos don't happen or I have to spend that time going through the footage. That's just not, there's no other way to do that, right? Even if I speed up, there's still going to be, it's probably not going to get that much faster than that. Like, I'd be shocked if I managed to get that down to 2 hours. I just don't think it's really realistic for me to get it down any further than that. But like, if I was making enough to hire an editor, like if I was I don't know how much I'd have to be making on a video to hire an editor, but I promise you, I'm not that worried about breaking more than even on it. So long as I'm not losing money on videos, I'd do it. You know? Like, so long as I wasn't going to be losing money on videos, I would absolutely, without hesitation, do it. Would not hesitate even a little bit. Like, if I was making, I don't know, how much do editors charge? I have no idea. So I'm not going to give any actual numbers here because I don't know how much I need to pay an editor. I have no idea. But all of that is honestly irrelevant at the moment because that's for like YouTube and TikTok. And you have to have a pretty big following in either of those places to make money. It's just not something that you can do, right? Without a larger following, because like I'm at 43 subscribers on YouTube, which is it's not very many. It is significant growth in the last month though. That was a weird thing to realize. I was like, wow, my YouTube channel, I posted shorts consistently for a month and I saw 10% growth. And I was like sitting here like, man, if I had been seeing even like 1% growth regularly during the time that I've been posting, like if I'd been actually doing this and just getting 1% growth for the last 5 years, I'd be I'd be at least at the silver play button. Maybe not quite. But like compound growth is scary, y'all. But I am hopeful that if I continue posting shorts, I will continue seeing growth in my subscriber count. Here's hoping that continues to be true. The shorts are definitely doing a lot more for me than the long form videos. What's my most viewed long form video that's recent? I think it's is it that 83? Yeah, I think it is. I'm surprised it's not one of the Baldur's Gate 3 videos, because I personally think those are better. But it is a random metaphor video that has 83 views. Okay, what I think is really funny is, can I see, I know there was a way to see, like, your, like, best, like, longer video somewhere, but I don't know where I can see that right now. Okay, just videos. Yeah, it's the Dark Cloud Legendary Fishing Guide. This is actually my best video for long form. I made this years ago now, back when I was playing Dark Cloud. And I did just it did just work out. It's helped a lot actually. Wild that it has 80 hours of watch time. Um, yeah, I think what's especially wild is since I started posting again, it has started getting more views again. I think that's really funny. Although it always kind of got views. Like, apparently, if you look up Dark Cloud Legendary Fishing Guide, this has a decent chance of coming up. It's my one and only tutorial style video. But I made that years ago now. Actually, wait, I should have looked at that. When did I post that? And videos. Did I post this? Looks like December 16th, 2020. God, this is in the first year that I was making content. This is back when I was still going by Marindra instead of just Mar most places. Back when Twitter was still Twitter. Like, man. It's been a hot minute. But anyway, I think I'm petering out. So that's been my talk of my plans for the new year. I'm hopeful overall as we ring in the new year. I think my wrap up here is that I am hopeful that the next year will be better, that we can all work together to make the world overall a better place and to improve our individual situations. I think that's the most important thing that anyone can be doing. You know, I think these three overall goals are the most important things that you should be doing. You know, you have to survive, you gotta have fun, and you gotta make everything around you better while doing it. That's, I think, the most important things to be doing, and I hope that that all of you can do that too. That's my hope for the new year. There's a lot of different specifics you can do to do those. I ended up pretty much only doing my content creation related goals here. I'll have to do my some of my more personal goals on my own later, but that's fine, you know. I like being transparent, but the internet doesn't need to know everything that I'm doing either, you know. But yeah. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow to start working on streaming 300 days in the new year, and finishing off Metaphor. Continuing to work on finishing off Metaphor. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!